Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. Had some slight technical difficulties. But we are now ready for the show match. It is going to be a best of 5 between Dodie and Cryok. Two German Gosus here, so it's very, very exciting. So, Dodie, of course, has qualified. Actually, sorry, both of these players have qualified for the round of 24, but they were kind enough to play in a show match for us today as well. And I guess maybe they'll watch the stream afterwards and see what groups they are in. Now, Dodie, of course, we saw him win qualifier number 3, I believe it was, in pretty emphatic fashion, last weekend. And Dodie, of course, is also known for his PvT, which means I'm definitely favoring him in this matchup. However, Cryok did not have to qualify because he was seeded after making it to the round of 16 of last season's TLS against many people's expectations, of course. 6 months ago, this guy was not really among the top level of foreign players. In fact, he still has a lot of haters, I know, that still don't think he's quite up there. But, in the last season of Gambit's Cup, he went on a ridiculous tear. It was like 13-1 or something. He basically had like a flash record in Gambit's Cup, which was essentially the Foreigner Pro League at the time. He qualified for TLS Season 2 and even made it through his group in the round of 24. So that was very, very, very impressive. Now, I'm not quite sure how good his TVP is. Of course, typically Terrans struggle in this matchup. But I do know that in Gambit's Cup, he did take some impressive wins off some players. Like, I think he beat DeWalt in a straight-up game. And that was when DeWalt was still active, of course. I think he beat a couple of other good Prodosses. So he could definitely pull something out of the bag here. But otherwise, I'd still have to say Dodie, man. His PvT. I mean, we saw him PvT in his qualifier finals against Non, and he just destroyed Non. No question. Now, the map pool is going to be Fighting Spirit as the first map, and then after this, the loser picks from any map in existence. Although preferably, like, sort of normal maps and not Bloodbath or something silly. But I guess we'll see what they pick anyway. I think we were being, there's basically anything goes. Since, of course, this is a show match, nothing really on the line except pride and honor. Which is everything, isn't it, really? So, with that, let's go on into game number 1. Dodie versus Cryok. And here we go. So at the top right is the blue Protoss. We have LRM Dodie. At the bottom left as the red Terran, we have Mr. Cryok. So Fighting Spirit, pretty easy peasy. Everybody knows Fighting Spirit. Everybody and their mom knows Fighting Spirit. I bet like Korean, housewives and grandmas even know Fighting Spirit just because it's just like that ubiquitous. It's kind of like every now and then my mom will try and show how cool she is and be like, hey, LOL, I know what that means, or GG, I know what that means. It means good game. Yeah, I'm so cool. My mom is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of like that. I bet all the Korean moms know Fighting Spirit. Anyway. So we've got a pylon. Hey, surprise, surprise. And we did see Dodie do some pretty aggressive gas stealing against Non in that qualifiers, but you can't really do it on Fighting Spirit because this is a 4-player map. It's not really going to go your way. I'm going to see a Gateway Scout. I like this. I like Gateway Scouting in PvT. To be honest, I don't have a great reason for it. I just do it. But Dodie does it too, apparently, so I have some justification. Now, of course, they are cross positions, so this probe isn't going to do too much. I'm wondering if Croc's going to try something like a 2-fact or something, do something aggressive, or maybe like a Vulture drop, try and get the edge here. Although I suppose, even if he loses in the first game, he can like pick some ridiculously good TVP maps for the second game. Well, having said that, I'm struggling to think of what a great TVP map is besides like Lost Temple. I'm sure there are some, I just can't think of any. I've just blotted them out from my memory. As a Protoss player, I don't want to, know of the existence of good TVP maps. On the other hand, basically all maps are good Terran maps, right? I mean, any map where you can build a siege tank is good for Terran. And I'm pretty sure that's all maps, except like that one bugged version of Destination where you can't get siege mode. Oh man, we should include that in the map pool next time. Yeah, bugged maps where like you can't research siege mode or lurkers. Ah, yes, good. I can already smell the Protoss victories. Anyway, we got 1 factory and 2 guys off gas, so it's basically an FD. And of course, Doty knows it as well. And Doty's gonna go for his trademark Zealot aggression here, of course. Already making a 3rd Zealot here, really going crazy with this. Doty does have pretty good Zealot control, but he's gonna be facing a decent number of Marines here. You can see, because we have an FD coming in, the Marine production will not stop. And he's got this nice city here, so Marines can run back and forth here. Zealots will not be able to, and they can sort of range the factory as well. Although the factory is probably going to be finished by the time this guy even gets in here. What'll be interesting to see is whether Cryok panics and makes a Vulture, or he just goes straight for the tank. You don't need to go to Vulture. Yes, he is going to go straight for the tank. That's good. This is good. You shouldn't panic and make a Vulture. You really don't need it. Or rather, you shouldn't need it. I should correct myself. Sometimes you do if you just mess up your micro a little bit and lose all your Marines. Especially since Doty's actually getting a 3rd Zealot here. He might regret not getting a Vulture later on. I mean, doing good micro though. He hasn't actually lost a Marine yet, but 3 of his Marines are pretty severely damaged. So this 1 Zealot's going to be a little bit scary. You can see he's just going to run back. But yeah, with this constant Marine production, he should be in pretty good shape. And you can see Doty's just going to pull back now. Oh, he's going to lose that Zealot? I think he is. No, he's not. With 1 HP, it does survive. The Marines, for some reason, stop right there. Meanwhile, Doty's going to follow up with gateways. I don't see any tech units, tech structures just yet, like a robo or something like that. No clear indication of what he's following up with here. Meanwhile, looks like the Zealot is going to come up here, but get taken down. And 1 HP Zealot guy is going to go meet up with this Goon Buddy. Note that the SCV is still alive, so you can still go back in and see what's going on. Meanwhile, we do just have the tank and Vultures and mines coming out here. Cryok has not changed his build whatsoever, besides, I guess, making a couple extra minions because he lost some. But he's otherwise just going for still just going for that FD attack. Now, this could be a little bit dangerous for Doty because he's lost a couple of Zealots without really getting the necessary damage, and I think he's basically traded 1-for-1 Zealots for Marines. I think he's killed 2 Marines, he's lost 2 Zealots. Now he has damaged these the rest of these Marines, which is definitely going to help in stopping this attack, but he's of course short in Dragoons compared to where he would be if he hadn't made those Zealots. But it looks like Cryok is actually going to just lay mines defensively and not go too crazy here. He did see the 2nd gateway already, so he's a little bit concerned. And he knows that his expansion is actually going to be in good time. You can see the Protoss and Terran expansion are going up at about the same time, and generally that's pretty good for Terran. I mean, Protoss wants to generally be ahead on the base count. Obviously, in these low numbers, it doesn't make as much of a difference, but yeah, I mean, seeing that 2nd gateway before the Nexus and before Robo, I guess Croc's just like, yeah, not going to go too crazy, and that's fine. I think that's good. So we have the eBay now for safety. Here's something shooting. I think the SCV scout just died right there, but it looks like he actually got far enough to see the Nexus, perhaps. Either way, you would expect the Nexus by now anyway, almost regardless of what the Protoss is doing. There would be a Nexus at this point. Let me see the Robo as well. Definitely for some Obs, possibly for some Reavers as well, if that's Doty's kind of thing. I think Doty has pretty good Reaver micro, but we'll see what he does. In the meantime, still only 1 factory for Mr. Terran. He's going to get up some safety turrets. One at the back of the natural, one here kind of blocking the choke. Whoa, what just happened there? Some Zealot just ate a mine somewhere. And there should be 1 turret in the main, really. Oh no, he's gonna do the perimeter defense. Okay, so basically, there's 2 kind of turret defenses you can do. Obviously, you can either try and do like 1 in the main Generally, there'll be like one at the top of the ramp, kind of protecting the ramp slash factories, and there'll be one in the natural, but the way he's done it is kind of more of a perimeter defense here, so he's stopping any shuttles or even observers from getting in. And actually, the way he's spaced this is almost perfect. Look at this. This turret is covering all the way back here. I'm pretty sure between these two turrets, they can actually viz everything in here. Even if they can't range something that comes directly between, the Marines can probably shoot it down. And I'm pretty sure all the rest of the area is covered. So wow, with 4 turrets, it looks to me like Croc's actually made an impenetrable turret defense there. That's actually pretty impressive. I didn't know you could do that with just 4 turrets on Fighting Spirit, although I haven't actually thought about it before. I mean, it is pretty thin, but definitely looks sufficient to stop OBS at least. That is pretty cool. In the meantime, whoa, we got a 5-fact follow-up from Cryok. Gonna be going for some aggression. Meanwhile, looks like Doty is sending out a probe to get a 3rd base here, but he has already gotten 5 gateways and is getting a shuttle, so he's going for a bit of aggression himself here. Oh, getting a few probes stuck here, but you know, he could be going for some kind of semi-bust attempt here. You know, it's gonna drop some, kind of like a bulldog, but after getting the expansion essentially, so not really a bulldog, but that kind of principle where maybe gonna drop some zealots on these tanks and try and pick some units off. But of course he's not all in with it, he's not committed because he is getting ready to take a 3rd base. But if he can keep the tank numbers low without you losing too many units, that's obviously a good thing. And Cryok doesn't have that many units yet, but he is pumping them out now from 5 factories. So I think if Doty does go in here, that could be quite bad with all these Vulture reinforcements that are going to be coming out really, really quickly. There are no tanks on the high ground, interestingly enough. I'm not sure why Croc hasn't decided to leave, you know, 1 or 2 tanks up here. Maybe he just figures he's going to be pushing in a second anyway. Oh man, but if he actually just moves out and runs smack into the Pearl's army, this could be really bad for him though. I didn't realize he would go this early, but I guess this is his timing here. The funny thing is that this Vulture actually is guarding the 3 o'clock, because usually the Pearls will get a 3rd here, but the Pearls actually gotten a 3rd over there. I mean, if Croc saw the 3rd, he'd definitely go, but he's just going to go now. And, well, he's going to see some Vultures at the front. There is the siege up. He's going to lose, or rather, he's going to use the Marines to buffer. He's going to push the Dragoons back. He's got to be a little bit careful. I think he might be surprised to see how many units that Doty actually has here. Doty going to the 5 gates before that 3rd. Only just now getting the Citadel, but getting a couple of extra gates as well. And the OBS does see a decent number of units here. Meanwhile, oh, he's going to run up and try and snipe a tank. Oh, it looks like he was going to try and snipe that leading tank, but not quite. Now, it's interesting what Croc's going to do here. You know, going 5-fact, you are supposed to kind of move out and do something. Meanwhile, oh, he's actually stuck a Vulture into the main base somehow. Running in through the natural, going to get a good eye of what's going on here. Going to see not too much really. He's going to check the gateway count basically. Going to see the Citadel finishing. No Templar tech just yet, or any Stargates or anything like that. And it looks like, well, he's decided now is good enough time to go. Of course, 5 factories is supposed to be superior to 5 gateways, but he's got to not waste units like this. And here we go. The shuttle is moving in. There's actually not that many Vultures anymore for some reason. And, oh, man, nice mines going off. And no supporting units for the tanks anymore. Man, Cryok really blundering here and losing his entire force at no huge cost to Doty. Doty didn't even lose half his goons, it looks like. Just those 3 zealots. Really, really poor execution there. Why Cryok? I don't actually know why he didn't have more Vultures, to be honest. And GG from Cryok. Doty takes game number 1. Whoops, I am muted for some reason. That was weird. I hope I wasn't muted like the whole game. No, I don't think I was, or people would be shouting at me. Yes, so anyway, I predict the next map Croc is going to pick either Outsider or Heartbreak Ridge. But I guess we'll see. Be right back.